Hello, all you imps, pixies, and other fine fae folk. It is me, the Hobby Hobbit. We like to play with all kinds of artsy craftsy things here on this channel, and we are absolutely master of none. This channel is all about learning, having fun, and just building a fine community of people that actually care about each other, and kindness. You know, I really like kindness, so that's what I'm hoping to project and hoping to convey in my videos. I do a lot of junk journaling, but I also do some adult coloring and a couple other crafts and things, so I thought perhaps you'd like to see and do a little color along with me. This is the Nice Little Town number 4 by Tanya Bogima Stolova. It's just a super, I didn't want anything really detailed, it's just a super, super cute book, and I thought we might just, well, this one's artsy craftsy, isn't it? Let's do this. You know what? I have this thing where I want to go through them page by page. It's just this thing I want. So I'm fighting the impulse right now to go back to page 2. We are going to be using Soucolor pencils. So if you can see it. Soucolor, S-O-U-C-O-L-O-R. These are what I have certain favorites. Of course, everybody likes Prismacolor. I like Prismacolor, but my favorites are actually the Castle Art brand. And then I feel like the Cool Banks brand is a step down from that, and this is a step down from that, in my opinion. They color just fine. But when I'm not doing anything that I want to be like a perfect piece of artwork, I'll use the other pencils because I have so many brands of colored pencils. It's just ridiculous. And I don't tend to color as much as I used to because I've had carpal tunnel surgery, and then I also have tennis elbow in this elbow as well as arthritis, so it gets a little tiresome sometimes. I'm kind of leaning towards this one because we can do it in sections in case I don't feel like doing too much talking or coloring, or if my hand hurts, we've got stopping points here. I have a little handy dandy Tagal sharpener. I like to use my sharpener on setting 1 or 2. I like fine sharp points. I know for me it's that I don't feel like I'm wasting the pencil by sharpening it all away. And I also find, especially with Prismacolors, they don't break as much when I use it on 1 or 2. Prismacolors are a very soft color or a very soft wax, and so they tend to break really easily, especially if you're heavy-handed, which I'm trying not to be anymore. I have found that if I don't know if I have one in here anymore or not. Yes, I have found that if I use one of these grips on my pencils and put it higher up, it will remind me to color further back, and therefore I color lighter. I need to buy some more. This one's really, really comfortable to color with. So having said that, I guess we're going to start with whatever color this is because, hey, why not? Mulberry Red. I'm feeling like her little... We definitely need to sharpen this. And I've heard a couple different ways you're supposed to sharpen pencils. You're supposed to sharpen the sharpener, not the pencil. I don't know. So I'm just gonna do, I feel like her little rain boots and her little raincoat are gonna be this color. And so I'm just gonna start with this at a very, very light, I mean, you can see a lot of the tooth of the paper in there. To me, I would describe this as a pressure 2 out of 10. Just so that I can build up layers. I got this book on Amazon. It was not expensive. I think this artist has the cutest little books ever, and I very much enjoy coloring in them, especially if it's something where, like, you know, you feel down, you have bad days. This just, I mean, they're so cute. You can't be sad, you can't be upset using these books. It's something that's going to cheer you up for sure. So I'm just doing light, tiny little circles. I don't know if this camera is picking that up, but my circles that I'm doing, I'm just going in really light little circles back and forth and over until I get some color layer. I don't know if that picked up better for you or not, but that's what I do. And then I'll do another layer. And I'll probably add a darker color where it's already shaded. That's another thing, this artist shades for you. And there's Miss Bug trying to get up on here, and I think she's trying to climb my shoulder. What's the matter, Bugly? Don't you dare. Don't claw this chair. The first day I got this chair in this new office craft room, the door was left open for 25 seconds and she clawed it, and it's a leather chair, and now there are little claw marks along one side, so I keep a blanket over it because that really upset me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a darker color here, which I'm thinking this is going to be a darker color. This one is maroon. And all I'm going to do is go in with this darker color in some of the spots where I feel there should be shading. And I'm just going to plop that color down in the shading. And I feel like because this is behind this window, there's going to be some shading there. Shading around her button. And around this window again. I'm not going to promise how long I'll be able to color with you guys tonight, because I've already filmed one 1-hour video. And I'm not going to lie, I'm tired. It's been a long week. You probably can't understand what I'm saying here because I got my, yeah, I've got my hand resting on my chin and smushing my mouth, so that should tell you just how tired I am. It's been a long week, but it's been a good one. So you see I've got some of this now colored. Oh, let's get it along here too. Along there a little bit. And I'm using, like, maybe if I had to describe it, I'd say like pressure 2 on the paper. So what I mean by that, okay, so here would be 1, this would be 2, that's about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. If that kind of gives you an idea of how I would grade my pressures. I know some of them don't feel like they're, or look like there's very much difference, but I can feel the difference when I'm pressing. So, okay, so this is my maroon color. So this is 032 in the Sioux colors, and then the mulberry red is 146. So I'm just going to grab a little bit more of the shading color in there just to layer it up. This is all about the layers. Lots and lots of layers. Not layers like you're an evil person trying to hide all the gold you've stolen. I'm going to throw a little bit along the bottom. And along the bottom there. And then we're going to go back in with our mulberry. And then what I like to do is I like to go into my darker color and bring it out. So it's kind of blending in and back out again. And I'll go kind of back and forth into the color and drag it back and forth until I've got a good color, what I think, or what I'm happy with. Now you can see that some of this color is really starting to develop. There's still a lot of tooth in this paper, so we have a little bit more time that we can play with it if we wanted to. Again, I'm just doing this quick just for a little bit of fun and to get something different up here on the channel, because I know some of you guys may not like the junk journaling journey that I'm on. Haha, try saying that 10 times fast. But yeah, it's just to do a little something different. This is so relaxing when you just let your mind drift and not worry about the colors. Okay, so I have these like really cute little, they're Armat, AFMAT. They're electric erasers. I bought two because they come with the bigger eraser tip and then the finer one, and I got tired of flip-flopping back and forth, so I bought two. They were like 10 bucks, I think. So worth it. I've only had to change the batteries once. I've not had an issue, and then they come with like 300 erasers. I've only changed this. I think this is my third eraser I've been on. So, I mean, and to show you kind of how long they are, I mean, this is brand new. And then you slide that in, and then there's like, you pinch it to grab where you want it to grab. I don't want it to be too short. And then you kind of push this back in. It took me a while to figure that out because the instructions weren't very clear. Yep, I see a little bit there that needs to be taken away. I try to catch that when I first notice it so that it's not too hard to erase. And then let's go into our booty boots. And I'm starting to color on this side here. So like I'm coloring along this side of the pencil now instead of at the tip. Because this is, for blending, you've got a little bit more space to blend with, a little more surface of the pencil. So it'll grab more of the color so that you're doing less work. Again, I am not an artist. I am not an expert. This is just tips and tricks that I've picked up. Learning, fumbling, failing, and trying again. Yeah, I definitely want this to pick up some more color. So now I'd say that I'm probably at about a 3.5 or 4 on my pressure scale, because I'm wanting to really get this kind of saturated and bright. And it's kind of hard. I've never colored with my face this far away. I usually have it much closer to myself, but I'm trying not to get in the way of the camera, so it's a little bit tricky for me. And that's something else too. When I do it, when I'm erasing, I'll tap down and up so that I'm not wearing away at the paper. It's just kind of a, for lack of a better word, a light, like I'm brushing something or painting something, I guess. Okay, so that's, I don't really feel like I want to add more color to these. Again, this is just for relaxations, and I'm not trying to make it a piece of fabulous art. I'm not even going to try and fight that. I'm really, really tired. Oh, and so something that you may not, like when I color code my pencils, when I put them in my cases, I always do it the same way. I go to yellow, oranges, peaches, light pinks, reds, purpley reds, purples, light purples, dark blue, light blues, teals, teal greens, and I go into the grass greens and the darker greens, then into the browns, olive greens, browns, grays, and then onto the blacks. Every set, I always do it the same way. It's just the way that it flows for me, and so every single set, that's how I set them up if I'm able to. I don't know why, because you know it's always the Roy G. Biv. I don't know why I do it that way, but I do. Okay, so I'm not going to grab two pieces or two pencils for what I'm going to do here. It's just going to be the little yellow pocket. And I'm pressing this at probably, oh, I'd say about here. And I'm going to do the button. And that's going to kind of blend into an orange because I've got some of that red on there. And then I'm going to try to get these little bits there. Yeah. And then I'm going to get the inside of the boots. And then the sole of the little booty boots. Okay, so that's what I'm doing there. A lot of people stand by swatching. Sometimes I'll swatch, but I absolutely hate swatching colored pencils. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. So I usually just have a sheet of paper that I can swatch on and test different colors against. And I know you need to swatch because not always are they the same color as the barrel, but I hate swatching so much. It's so boring to me. Sorry about that. Saw my mom opening the door and I thought she might need something, so I wanted to stop in case she needed me. But she was just letting the fat cat out. Alright, so let's just continue. Oh, no, that's more a winter boot or like a Christmas hat, isn't it? We're going to make that a different color. And then what are these? Are these cherries? Yeah, we're going to say those are cherries or maybe a mushroom. These are mushrooms. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so let's work on the steps. We'll have those nice... We'll have those... let's do these two. Oh no, that's a metallic color. Yeah, that's a metallic blue. This one is metallic blue as well. How about we do light blue and deep blue. So those are colors. Light blue is 0151 and deep blue is 165. So we're just going to do the steps in these colors. So let me sharpen my pencils. But you see, I like these sharp points. Okay, so I'm going to do these wood colors or maybe a different color for the inside of the house. I'm going to fold this and turn this so I can get at it a little bit better and try to let you guys see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to do my little light circles. Again, I'm probably about a 2. Just doing these really light circles. And then when it's a large spot like that, I'll just go across it. And then I'm going to do this only to about here, because this is already shaded for us, so we know it's going to be the darker color. And again, this is really, really light pressure. And then I'm going to come over to about here, so I'm coming to about here with this blue, because I do want it to blend a little bit with the darker blue. And then we're going to come in here. And this is just layer 1. I usually try to do 2, 3, 4 layers if the paper will let me, so it gets that rich, deep color. And I want to stress once again, I am not an expert at this. I am not an artist. There are many, many other people on YouTube that are much, much better at this than me. This is just a channel for us to learn and have fun together. I am not proclaiming to be Van Gogh or any sort of artist. There are some amazing talent on YouTube. This is just a little baby channel that's just there to spread joy. Alright, now what I want to do is come in and get just kind of my little bit of the darker blue in. And believe it or not, this color is so saturated, I'm still only doing a 2 on my scale. That's what I like about these, I call them the Castle Art, like the step downs. And I don't mean that by any way. They're fine pencils. They really are. They're inexpensive. They're saturated really well. I'm barely putting any pressure on, and you can see the color developing here. And I'm going to actually add the blue here, the darker blue, and right along this line where she's drawn the step. And then I'll add this darker blue here. And along the step, and then as the shadow to these boots and slippers. And then again, we're going to come right along here. And I know I kind of colored over that. I'll come back and grab that with the eraser in a minute. And I did it again over there. Oh my gosh. Apparently this is not my night for coloring. I find though that when I color, I go for the bright colors on my pages. I want the bright, happy colors. Do you guys do the same thing? What colors do you normally reach for? Like blue is my favorite color, so I'll use a lot of blue when I color. But then I also want like the bright cherry colors, which is why I went for those reds there. And here I'm coming to a 1 level because I want to be able to blend that with the lighter blue. So I'm smushing in a little bit of the 1, but then here I'm coming back to my 2. I hope you're understanding what I mean when I say my 1, my 2, it's my pressure that I'm using. And I'm turning my pencil as I go to keep that sharp tip. Come back up here and lighten that back down to 1. Do you guys, what kind of books do you like to color? I've got a really weird taste. Like, I started out doing a lot of mandala, however you say it, and it spoke to my OCD because I could get a pattern, say, okay, I was done at this point in the project. But then I got to the point where it was just the details. When you're doing a lot of tedious details, that's when it gets me, and I'm just like, no, I'm done. So there are certain books I like that do have a lot of detail, and then there are others that I don't want to have a lot of detail on, because I get bored very easily when I'm doing coloring books, and I'll stop and then just never go back to it because I'm bored with the picture because it's taken so long, or I've made so many mistakes it's irritated me. Okay, wait, does that have it? See, my glasses are a little fuzzy, so I can't tell if there's anything down there or not. So I'm just going to treat it like it is. But I want to be careful not to rub any of the tooth of the paper away. Any of the lumpy bumpy stuff so that I can continue adding color. Okay, that's enough messing around. Alright, so now I'm going to actually start over here and start bringing this in. So it'll eventually just kind of smooth into the same, not same color, but it'll blend in very smoothly. I'm at about a 2, maybe a 2.5 on pressure right now. It's really not very hard at all. And then see, it looks like it's just got that touch of light there. And I've used blending pencils too, you know, the colorless wax pencils. I find I'll use them more with Prismacolor than I do with the other colored pencils, just because Prismacolors are of the better quality pencils. They're on the low end for price point, but it's still a high end for me and my budget. So the colorless blenders are a lot less expensive than buying another set of Prismacolors. So I'll use that blender to blend the colors in, so I'm not using as much of the pencil. I know. So I'm gonna come right back over here again. Again, I'm starting out here and I'm just doing little circles. Little circles. And just blend it back and forth. I almost want to come in and grab some more blue, or the darker blue. I want to line it up here maybe, but I'm trying not to. I'm just keeping it simple with 2 colors. And I think we'll call it a night after I've colored up these steps. I'm ready for my nighttime routine, settling down, watching some YouTube, catching up with the girls that I like on YouTube and the other artists. I mean, I'm not saying I'm an artist, I'm saying other artists as in not just coloring, maybe watching the junk journalists and the clay workers and the wood turners, those artists. Not saying that I'm an artist. I do not proclaim to be an expert by any sense of the word. But I find a lot of magnificent, talented people on YouTube, and I love to watch them. It fascinates me. Now you'll notice I'm coloring faster, and I'm probably about a 3.5, 4 now because I'm getting anxious to finish this video up, and that's my problem. I tend to try to speed through and rush at the end. I'll take my time in the beginning, but then I start rushing at the end, and then that's where you're liable to make your mistakes, and it turns out looking like refried dog poo instead of a pair of steps. A set. And then I'll find, like, if there's a main thing, like a main point of interest in the page, if I start on that, I have no desire to do the background. So I'm trying to retrain myself, I guess. But I'll keep this book on the shelf next to me or right behind me with these pencils so that I can try and maybe do a short video each night on these, on the progress of this after I've filmed the other stuff that I'm filming. Okay, yeah, so I'm not mad at it. I do think I want to add a little more of the darker color though, especially like over here. Through here. Sorry, I just stopped talking, didn't I? And see, there's no shading there, but I'm adding it myself because I just feel like it needs to have a little bit more in that area. Just because the artist that drew the book gives you an idea of where it means doesn't mean you can't add your own little touches to make it yours, you know? I'm at about a 2.5, 3 here on the pressure that I'm applying. It may look like I'm pressing harder, but I'm really not. I think it's the addition of the extra color to what's already on here. It's just popping out so nice. Yeah, this is about where my hand's reaching its limit. I've done quite a bit of lifting, tugging, pulling today. Probably more than I should have, but I'll wear my brace tonight and hope that the hand goes back to normal by Monday. And I'm just once again just going over and grabbing this darker color to blend it some. And then hitting up where I see some more of the white showing through. I'm at about a 2.5 on my pressure. Moving faster because I know I'm just basically blending everything in together now. There. I think we'll call that done for the night. And I'm glad because I've finished with these two colors. I don't think I'll make the other stairs the same. We'll just play with this and make this a bright, eclectic, crazy, just fun picture. That's my thought on it anyways. Anyways, I will see you soon.